Since its initial release in 1986, Dragon Ball has remained an iconic anime. The series introduced us to insane battles, jaw-dropping power-ups, amazing characters, and a beautiful storyline. That's not all. Apart from all this, we also got to see dragons. But nobody can say that they don't like dragons. In this epic saga, if someone is able to get their hands on all 7 mystical Dragon Balls, an eternal dragon is summoned, and that dragon is capable of granting any wish that the owner of the balls desires. But just to let you know, only these eternal dragons are capable of granting wishes, not just any regular old dragon. For years, we've seen a variety of dragons being introduced in the Dragon Ball franchise, all having different powers, personalities, and appearances. So today, we'll be diving into every dragon from the Dragon Ball franchise. Original Shenron. Of course, we're starting the list with none other than the OG dragon that appears in the intro. The green majestic dragon with red eyes, Shenron. Shenron, sometimes known as Shenlong, is an eternal dragon. He resembles a traditional Chinese dragon with 4 fingers, brown antlers, long whiskers, and a green scaly body. He's kind of like the typical dragon you'd think of. Now, when this majestic creature appears, the sky goes completely dark no matter how bright the day is. And once he disappears, everything goes back to normal. He puts on quite a show, and it's fitting for an eternal dragon. Now, even though he looks scary, he's most of the time polite and calm. He's a very neutral dragon, and by neutral, I mean that he'll grant wishes to just about anybody. Whether it's an evil wish or a good wish, Shenron will do his best in granting it, but there are some things he informs the wisher beforehand. He cannot grant a wish to end someone who is stronger than himself or their creator. He also has limitations or just doesn't want to revive an enormous army. For example, he never attempted to revive the Frieza force that fell victim to the explosion on Namek, and this creature, even though kind, gets very furious and annoyed by indecisiveness or interruptions during summons. Now, this dragon seems super strong and fearless, right? But that's not the whole truth. There is actually someone whom this majestic creature is terrified of, and that's none other than the god of destruction of Universe 7, Beerus. Shenron can resurrect individuals and even make them immortal. He can see the future, teleport, seal some spells, and anything that other dragons can do. Shenron has appeared in many arcs throughout the franchise, starting with the Emperor Pilaf saga to the newer series like Dragon Ball GT, A Hero's Legacy, and Dragon Ball Super. So, as a whole, this dragon is literally in every part of the franchise so far. He is, after all, the trademark of the whole franchise. Panga, the Dragon of Dreams. On January 30th, 1991, during the Frieza saga, we finally saw Panga in episode 75. This muscular green dragon is an eternal dragon from the planet Namek, and in Namekian language, his name translates to the Dragon of Dreams. Now, as far as his looks are concerned, he doesn't exactly look like a typical dragon. He looks like the ugly love child between an alligator and a cobra who frequents the gym and does some serious reps. He is a good-hearted dragon, much like Shenron, but he has a temper and is sometimes very impatient. But trust us, this creature has a humorous side too, and it doesn't matter how brutal he looks, this humor suits him. Now, he is much friendlier than Shenron, he's cool and even cute at times, and when Bulma told him that he was cute, he just blushed. Unlike Shenron, who doesn't just grant wishes without thinking about the consequences, he doesn't like wishes that could kill someone. For instance, when he was asked to bring Goku's soul to the check-in station in Otherworld, he refused to grant that wish. Everyone thought Goku had died, but Panga knew better. He knew that this wasn't the end for Goku, and that removing Goku's soul would kill him. Panga can resurrect, teleport, heal, use telepathy, and can draw out dormant powers, and moreover, he can split an individual into 2 copies of themselves. Panga can grant a total of 3 wishes, just like the genie from Aladdin. Black Smoke Shenron. Summoned in Dragon Ball GT from the cracked Dragon Balls in Universe 7, Black Smoke Shenron is also known as the Evil Shenron. His personality is completely negative, just like the negative energy used to create him. Unlike Shenron, this guy is impolite and foul-mouthed. He doesn't have any interest in granting wishes. Instead, he would just smoke cigars and blow his smoke at the summoner's face. He's all evil, and it's because of overusing the Dragon Balls. He just looks like the bad boy counterpart of Shenron, but he's blue instead. He has those long whiskers, big antlers, red eyes, and his lower body is most of the time hidden behind blue smoke. His powers aren't fully known to us, but it's possible that he can do as much as the others, or even more, but well, in an evil way. He can separate himself into 7 shadow dragons whenever he wants. Ultimate Shenron. This huge dragon was the 3rd dragon to be introduced in the Dragon Ball franchise. He can be summoned by using a particular collection of Dragon Balls called the Black Star Dragon Balls. This guy is a rare addition to the dragons in the series and one of the strongest dragons to have ever appeared. He's larger than Shenron and Panga combined. He's blood red and has a malevolent aura surrounding him. Ultimate Shenron is regarded as one of the deadliest dragons, and summoning him is a risky proposition. He can grant only one wish, but without any limits, and that's something awesome, right? However, if all the Black Star Dragon Balls, which are scattered throughout the galaxy, aren't collected within 1 year of summoning him, then the entire planet will be destroyed. So yeah, it's kinda high risk, high reward. Ultimate Shenron has all the powers of the other dragons and then some. He uses a mouth energy wave called the Ultimate Tenkaichi and also uses the Dragon Thunderclap. Yup, this huge creature is extraordinarily handy with lightning. Super Shenron. Potentially the strongest dragon in the entire franchise is Super Shenron. He's called the Dragon of Gods. This divine creature is pure yellow colored with a golden tone on his body. He's even the largest dragon in the entire franchise. Once you set eyes on him, you'll know for yourself how majestic he truly is. To summon Super Shenron, one must say the phrase, "Come forth, Dragon of Gods, and grant my pretty peas." And that too in the divine language. Only in the divine language can one ask for a wish for it to be granted. Of course, Super Shenron can do anything the other dragons can do. He can also manipulate his size when needed. And one more interesting thing is he can switch the souls of 2 individuals. The 7 Shadow Dragons. In simple terms, Shadow Dragons are the result of exhausting the Dragon Ball's power. Every time a single wish is made, the balls eliminated both negative and positive energy. The balls then absorbed the dark energy and dispersed it over many years to minimize the effect. However, continuous use of the balls made the process of dispersing the dark energy at a slow pace impossible, and hence, the balls cracked. This gave rise to the Black Smoke Dragon, as mentioned before, and from this very dragon, these 7 Shadow Dragons were born. It was like nature's way of showing the Z-Warriors what the consequences of their actions really were. Too much of everything is bad, and the Z-Warriors clearly understood this when they saw the 7 Shadow Dragons. The 7 Shadow Shenron Dragons were Haze, Rage, Oceanus, Naturon, Nova, Ice, and Sin Shenron. Out of these 7 dragons, Nova Shenron possessed the least dark energy, but wasn't the weakest. Only Nova, Ice, and Sin had martial arts skills, which really gave Goku a hard time. Naturon Shenron of the 7-star Dragon Ball looked like a large mole with a pig snout, but that's just his basic form. His appearance was actually affected and depended upon whatever he absorbed. He initially didn't look scary at all, however, after he absorbed Pan, his malevolent and fierce look finally emerged. Haze Shenron is the dragon of the 2-star Dragon Ball and was the first to be in battle in the Shadow Dragon arc. Haze wasn't the strongest among them, but this frog-like dragon wasn't without tricks. When Goku and Pan first met him, he was busy destroying a small town. When the duo fought against him, they found Haze to be very weak, as Pan on his own was able to get the upper hand. Nonetheless, the longer they fought, the stronger he became. But that wasn't the truth. Haze actually emitted pollution, which over time made the duo weaker, but ultimately Goku successfully defeated him with his Kamehameha Blast. Rage Shenron is the dragon of the 5-star Dragon Ball and was the 2nd dragon to face Goku in the series. As far as his looks are concerned, he's small, red in color, with an eagle-like face, and carries the 5-star ball in a pouch like a kangaroo. There's only one person who could imagine a character like this, and that's Toriyama-san. Being an electric dragon, Rage gave Goku a really hard time, and if it wasn't for the rain, the consequences for Goku and Pan would have been severe. As an electric dragon, he became unstoppable and filled without electricity, but because of the rain, he instead exploded. Now, Oceanus Shenron was the dragon of the 6-star Dragon Ball. She was the only female dragon from the entire franchise, and the 3rd to fight Goku. Why don't we talk about how she was actually born? She actually came out of the most embarrassing wish from a Dragon Ball. It was when Emperor Pilaf wished for a pair of panties from a hot girl. Seriously, Pilaf, get it together, bro. That's completely off the tracks. So where does Goku meet this dragon? Well, he meets her in a village where she takes the appearance of Princess Oto and was providing the villagers with fish. It was a ploy to put the fishermen out of business. When Goku demanded to know how she was born, she finally told him the embarrassing story. This was a big mistake on her part, as all our protagonist could do was laugh at her. That's just Goku for you. But on a more serious note, Goku also defeated her with his Saiyan powers. Next up is Nova Shenron, who was born from the 4-star Dragon Ball. He was the 5th Shadow Dragon to fight Goku. His looks are kind of scary, even though he emanates the least dark energy. In his battle with Goku, Nova easily dominated the fight and quickly defeated Pan. As he was about to kill her, Goku asked Nova to release Pan, and as unbelievable as it sounds, Nova let her go. Goku and Nova then fought across the city through some pipelines. Nova was dominating the fight, but Goku surprised him with a planned attack, but chose not to kill Nova. Goku told him that this was his way of returning the favor for not killing Pan. The two continued to fight, only to be interrupted adopted by Ice Shenron. Ice insulted Nova for being kind and started fighting Goku himself, but this time Goku didn't really have a hard time. When Ice asked for help, Nova didn't do anything but watch from the sidelines. As a matter of fact, he instead helped Goku to get free from Ice's hold. Then, when Goku tried to release his Kamehameha, Ice used Nova as a shield. Ultimately, Goku found Ice at point-blank range and killed him. Nova then provided Goku with a medicine to recover from the injury caused to his eyes by Ice's Ice Claw attack. Finally, it's time for the main antagonist of the Shadow Dragon arc, Sin Shenron. The dragon of the one-star Dragon Ball, Sin was the last one to fight Goku. Out of all the siblings, Sin is hands down the most evil and sadistic one. Of course, he's the strongest too, as he was born from the biggest wish, which was to revive all the fallen warriors who had been killed by Frieza. He first appeared after Goku defeated Ice, and in that very appearance, he did something brutal. He killed Nova because of his betrayal. During his fight with Goku, Sin dominated the battle and took full advantage of Goku's blinded eyes. However, the battle was momentarily saved when Gohan, Goten, Oob, Pan, Trunks, Chi-Chi, Videl, and Mr. Satan came in to help Goku. Goten and Trunks gave their power to Goku, but Sin defeated the rest of them easily. However, in the second round, Goku got the upper hand. He finally managed to defeat Sin, but it wasn't over yet. Sin used his ability to swallow the other 6 Dragon Balls into himself and turned into the powerful Omega Shenron, or as we call him, the Ultimate Dragon. And my friends, this is where it gets interesting. After Sin's transformation into Omega Shenron, Goku fails to put him down. Omega was just built different, and Goku was almost about to perform a suicidal attack. But his all-time rival, Vegeta, made his entrance at this critical moment. The two didn't get the upper hand initially, however, they did the fusion dance and became Gogeta. But as fate had it, even they couldn't finish the job. To give you the short version of the story, we finally see Goku defeat him in the end with the Universal Spirit Bomb, saving the Earth once again. Toronbo. Moving on in our list of eternal dragons, we have Toronbo from the planet Cereal. Toronbo resembles an axolotl from the amphibian family. He has light ocean blue scales, red eyes, and thin spikes hanging from under and around his jaws. Of course, Toronbo has wish-granting powers, but unlike the rest, he's very, very patient. He's polite and courteous when it comes to explaining the impossibility of the summoner's wish, and even offers a wish that would suit the summoner best. He has all the powers of the other dragons and has been seen granting wishes in the franchise 3 times. Before Dragon Ball Super began, Toronbo granted Monaido's wish to let Bardock's sons thrive. In Dragon Ball Super, he granted Granola's wish to become the strongest fighter in Universe 7, and he also granted Elec's wish for Gas to become the strongest fighter in Universe 7. The wishes look overlapping, but well, that was the wish after all. Mr. Poco Poco. Well, Mr. Poco Poco is a demonic eternal dragon who works for the Dark Namekians. He kinda looks like Panga meets Mr. Popo, however he's grayish in color and has legs. He always wears a turban, and it's kinda weird to see a dragon wearing clothes, but there's actually not much to say about him. He definitely looks weaker than the other dragons, but yeah, we might be wrong about that because we haven't seen much of him. He's capable of increasing his size to triple his normal state, and that makes him a scary looking dragon. If not for the turban, we probably would have been scared of him too. Other dragon-like creatures. Whether they're completely dragons or not, we can't just overlook these characters when the topic of dragon is being discussed in the Dragon Ball universe. First is Chapel. Well, Chapel's a warrior from Universe 9 and a member of Team Universe 9. He looks like a metallic alien dragon crossbreed and is nicknamed Iron Skin Battler. He has shiny scales and kind of resembles a Gorgon. One thing's for sure, this guy's a master of defense with his iron scale armor that protects him from a lot of attacks. Next is Symbol. He's a mutated Namekian and the 3rd son of King Piccolo. He's a bulky dragon-like guy who's an expert in finding Dragon Balls. This dark green dragon-like character is highly loyal to his father, but extremely rude to humans. He has just one mission, locating the Dragon Balls, and if something or someone comes in his way, he's ready to kill. Now, the next character, Finn, has no resemblance to a dragon in his basic form whatsoever, but he is actually part eternal dragon in his ultimate form. He's an android Majin created by Towa. And just like Finn, Fu is yet another character who looks humanoid but actually has dragon blood coursing through his veins. He's the artificial son of Towa. He can't exactly be considered a dragon, but we couldn't ignore his fearless smile. A smile that shows just how proud he is of his dragon blood. Now, there's a lot more characters who have just a tint of dragon-like appearance or even dragon DNA, but we'll be concluding our list with Gohan's closest non-humanoid friend, Icarus. Yes, he's a complete dragon, but also the cutest out of all of them. He's a lilac-covered dragon with large, innocent-looking green eyes and a set of tiny wings. Although it doesn't look like those wings would help him fly, they actually do. It doesn't make sense, we're not gonna argue with you about it, just let the dragon fly. That's what they do! Marvelous verdict! Of course, dragons have been the face of mythical creatures in both Dragon Ball and all of mythology. Be it Game of Thrones or Harry Potter, dragons just make people excited. Their sheer power and magnificent appearance are worth admiring, and the Dragon Ball franchise just knew that they needed a lot of different dragons to really get things going. After all, this series has dragon right in the name, so you can't really underdo it. Toriyama-san has introduced us to a lot of weird-looking dragons, but trust us when we say it's all been worth it. This has been Wheezy249 signing off, but you can always catch me on Twitch. And until next time, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.